So like and subscribe if you want to. The Warriors used their exception on Kelly Oubre, and it's top 20 protected for next season. And if the Warriors finish in the top 20, then they'll be sending 2 second-rounders to OKC. So I guess that's some okay insurance on Golden State's part. As for Sam Presti and the gang, I mean, I thought for a moment that perhaps Presti in the front office would view Oubre as a guy they could hold on to and perhaps look to extend, and he and Shea could be part of the rebuild. Oubre is 25, maybe he's 26 by the time basketball starts, I don't know. But at the same time, it's not shocking to see that OKC didn't want to hold on to Oubre, because number one, he could get overpaid in the offseason. Two, I feel like he has spent a decent chunk of his career being just kind of okay. But last year with Phoenix, the guy did put up 19 a game. I think that should be noted. Sometimes Oubre is this athletic 3-and-D guy. Other times he's just athletic, but not very smart, making turnovers, that sort of thing. Not really having that defensive IQ. I still feel like Oubre in the right situation could be very good. That could be this situation. We'll talk about that in a moment. Now, if we talk about Oubre for the Warriors, their luxury tax situation continues to be a thing. They have added so much money to their bill to the NBA with this move, but if ownership is willing to pay it, then I guess you do it. We've already heard some things how the Warriors, they apparently have a test in place that they think would allow them to fill out their arena. I wish them good luck on trying to get that one approved. We've also heard things that they have wanted to at least get their courtside fans in there, aka the wealthiest ones, so they can at least make some of that money back. We'll have to see how all that is. But as far as Oubre in Golden State, of course, this was done because of Klay's injury. He probably goes into the starting lineup. So it's Steph, Oubre, Wiggins, Draymond, Wiseman. I think about Oubre's three-point shooting. It's been trending in the right direction throughout his career. He's never really popped from three, but he's been on this steady climb over his career, or really you could just say this previous season, but still, he's going in the right direction as a three-point shooter, and you have to assume that with Steph flying around and with Wiseman rolling to the rim, and maybe Wiggins will help him out a little bit with drawing some attention from the defense, although they're mainly just going to be stuck to Steph at this point. On top of Steve Kerr's offense, which that's actually something to think about. Could the offense be a little more simple now without Klay? Because with Steph and Klay flying around, that's what really allowed all the movement, and KD was there, of course, we remember. So maybe there's just going to be more simple Steph-Wiseman pick and rolls, but we'll have to see. But anyway, for Oubre's sake, you'd think that he can exist in that system, where it's handoff plays, it's setting a screen for the guy in the corner so that he can come off of it, and then when he's doing that, you're cutting to the basket or whatever. Now, of course, a lot of the time that would work because the guy you were setting the screen for was Klay or KD. Whereas now, if Oubre is setting a screen for Wiggins, teams aren't going to panic as much over that sort of thing. So they're going to have to perhaps get a little more creative than they ever have to generate points outside of Steph Curry's general existence. So we'll have to see how that goes. I think if Wiseman is a real passer right away, that could help out somebody like Oubre if he's involved in screens. Of course, Draymond is going to be involved in screens, and he's going to be able to see when Oubre is open. And we will hope that Oubre is attentive enough to cut to the basket in certain situations as well, off of like Steph Draymond 2-man game stuff. As for going off the dribble, I don't know how often we're going to see Oubre creating offense for other people or for himself, to be honest. I don't know if we're going to see a lot of Oubre pick and rolls or Oubre isolations, but I think we could at least see him attacking within the flow of the Warriors offense. So let's say he's getting a flare screen from Wiseman or whoever, and then he's got some daylight to the basket because his defender was a step slow. Then maybe Oubre could drive off of that. Now, even when that happens, teams are going to be collapsing on him, and I've said in the Klay video, and everybody knows this, teams are not going to defend Draymond like that. They're going to dare him to shoot, and so there's going to be an extra defender just loading up the basket a lot of times for Golden State, and we'll have to see how they adjust to that. But there's going to be times when Oubre is then going to have to make the next pass. And through this point in his career, Oubre has not been a good passer. He might have more career turnovers than assists, to be honest with you. He actually does. He has 360 career turnovers and 327 career assists. So, not really a passer. We'll have to see if the Warriors' collective IQ is able to bring that up for him a bit. Yeah, so now that I've had more time to think about the Clay thing and seeing this Oubre acquisition and all that, I feel like it's going to be the Steph Curry show for Golden State. I mean, it always kind of has been, but it's really going to be now. I mean, I mentioned it before. They've always been a little apprehensive to just let Steph run ISO or run pick and roll. I feel like we're going to see that a bit more. Sure, he's still going to do his moving off the ball every second thing, but I think there will be times when it's just like no movement at all. Just give it to Steph and let him go to work. And we'll see how that turns out. The one other thing I will say, just with the Warriors, and I didn't say this in the Clay video because I just didn't have enough time to think about it, but they're, of course, in luxury tax hell. If they acquired Oubre, there's got to be a chance they're going to want to re-sign him. It might take you like $15 million annually or so. You have Steph's extension coming after the 2022 season, and that money is probably going to be, it could be like $50 million annually or something. And while this is happening, you've got Wiggins and you have Draymond under contract for a while, and we see the writing on the wall with Draymond, which is he's been on the decline. Things could get pretty awkward with Draymond. We're going to have to see how well he ages, but there's reason to think he's not going to age well. And if that's the case, the Warriors may have to jump the gun a season early or something and look to get off of his money, because I know they're willing to deal with the luxury tax right now, but eventually that money gets so big. And if you're not competing for championships, do you really want to go there? I just feel like long-term with this team, you've got to get out of the Wiggins and Draymond money. Now, maybe they can turn Wiggins into a good player. Draymond might be the odd guy out. I know he's been here throughout the whole run and sentimental value and all that stuff. But, I mean, if like next season, again, we don't know. Draymond could end up bouncing back huge, but next season, Draymond makes $24 million, and he just had his worst season since he became a really important player. Now, the talent around him wasn't great, I get it, but do you want to be paying him $24 million at the direction he's going when you're deep into the luxury tax? He could be the odd guy out. So we'll see. For the sake of Oubre, I think it's cool. I don't think it's a huge needle mover, but it's cool. I still think the Warriors over-under for the West is the 5th seed. Before the Clay injury, I thought they were title contenders. And I'm still going to do a Wiseman video at some point, so we'll dive into his whole spiel and all that. But yeah, Oubre. So yeah, again, like and subscribe if you want to, and that's it.